Everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Something More Comfortable, the Black Velvet Experience. I am your host, the Bowtie Bully himself, Black Velvet, and I am joined today by a very special guest, Miss Parker. She is a poet, she is a host, she is a model. There is not much that she does not do. Miss Parker, say hey to the people.
Hey people, how you doing?
Yeah. How's your week been going?
My week is good. And I'm here with you, so it can't get no better.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So tell people what you got going on, because you told me actually off camera or whatever, but you got books, you got albums you putting out, you doing all kind of stuff. So talk to the people, tell people what you up to.
Okay, well, I am, like he said, I'm Miss Parker, and my tagline is I'm speaking. And I am a poet, a creator. I am definitely a producer. I have two things that I'm most proud of right now, which is the Insomniac Writers Unblocked Pen Party. And we do creative writing in the night where creativity never sleeps. Because we all don't sleep. We get up with a thought process, and so sometimes a lot of creatives don't sleep. So this is a late night atmosphere where we can do it. I also have I also have an Instagram open mic, and it's for the ladies, and that's amazing. It's called Women's Wildcard Wednesday, and I have done 2 shows on Instagram. One was The Feminine Fire, which was nothing but a bunch of beautiful women who had a feature. I featured 7 beautiful women who were amazing. And then I did the 7 Kings, where I had 7 kings who came and rocked the house. So I am a creator, a developer, and a women's empowerment. I have a women's empowerment company called Size It Up. So I got my hands in a lot of stuff. And then I have a show that I used to do called the Horny Pen Session. And hopefully it'll be coming back soon when we open up. So yeah, I'm in these streets, as the kids can say.
Yeah. I dig it. She has been trying to convince me to give her my fabric, or actually she wants me to make a dress with the fabric, which she already know that's not gonna happen, because she not gonna get me or her cut.
I feel some type of way about that, right?
I'm like this. You got to pick your battles in life, and you can feel however you feel about it. But unfortunately, it's not going to.
Listen, and I respect that, but I need you to respect how I'm feeling too. So I'll get through it. It'll eventually settle in that it's just not going to happen. But yeah. I'm a woman who wants what I want, so I figure I just keep putting it out there, and the universe will give it to me when I get it.
I dig it. Once I get a little bit bigger, a little bit, a little bit larger, maybe I could, slide you one, just, on the
test dummy. I'm just saying.
Say what happened?
Test dummy. I don't mind to be a test dummy.
Well, yeah, but you listen. You always got to take care of home first. So that's always first and foremost. And then after home, then you start being like, all right, you know what? I try somebody else, try something different. But yeah, you got to do home first. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. So we just go in on a good note that we're going to still be in love and light with each other. And it's okay that I'm not getting this fabric. It's all good.
Exactly. That's how we're going to do it. So this episode, we've been talking a lot. And actually, I think I will do that poem from before. I did it on the very first episode, and I'm just bringing it back again. We've been having conversations about relationships, and because Miss Parker is single. For the people that don't know, Miss Parker is single, and she is out in the LA area. She is looking for somebody that is on her level, that is able to connect with her on on her energy level, on her vibrational level, somebody that can match her and meet her and where she is. So, you know what I'm saying? So the piece, of course, is called I Want. And then we're going to get into what we get into when we, you know, our discussion. Um, I want a 1969 type of love. Passion that feels incredible, whether the sun or the moon is above. Fight so hard and then make love till we can't even remember what the argument consisted of. I want to spend hours in deep thought figuring what to name my seed. I want to exist as all that you will ever need, make you well when sickness calls, and in bed I will feed. I want to take life's cuts for you if the Lord will allow me to bleed. Here, L, come from your lips. Forget the other letters that succeed. I want to sip the day away, watching the traffic pass. I want you to send me to the store for whatever because I ate the last. Tell me to stop or poke it out further when I tap you on the ass. I want to be blue people. Vow true allegiance in the presence of and under the presence of a steeple. I want you to know from this day forward, I receive you and acknowledge you as my equal. I want to die and come back resurrected and recreate this love even better in the sequel. I want to lay still in the depths of you and shed tears at the beauty of God's craftsmanship. Get right back into the race when it seems like we might slip. I want my heart to thump to your drum beat. I want you to hear my rim shot and tell me that it sounds so sweet. I want it to be just you and I and a bottle of champagne in our wilderness retreat. I want to hold your world in my arms and partake in the majesty as your lips lay open universes. I want your gaze tickling my vessel as the stage resonates to the planet my verses hail. I want to be the holder of every last one of your purses. I want to import you into my iTunes and daily play your mellow groove. Be your lullaby into sleep I will soothe. I want your steps to affect my move. I want our love cast in bronze and admired by the masses in the halls of the Louvre. I want to love deeper, longer, higher, stronger than all obstacles we may go through. But for all that I want, I need love. And I need, baby, I need you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's that type of love I'm looking for.
right. And that, you know what? And that was the very first question that I wanted to ask you is when you think of a 1969 type of love, what stands out for you? What does it say to your spirit when you hear that term, a 1969 type of love?
I think of courting. That's the first thing that comes to mind is courting.
Okay.
Um, our men back then knew how to court. Not to say that, everybody, there was an end game. Everybody has an end game. But every, for me to feel like men think different than they did then, the way they operated was different. And opening doors, being a gentleman. I think of actually wondering what it is that's going to make her happy, and vice versa, because I'm on the other spectrum of that. What's going to make her happy? And like this thing now, Netflix and chill. When brothers came over to your house, they came over to your house to really engage with you in a movie, to have fun. They didn't have the expectation if they got it or if they didn't get it. They were like, I hope I get it.
Right.
I
Right.
hope I get it. But they didn't come blank. The crassness of today's dating. They didn't come in here saying, "Oh, we fucking," you know.
Right. Right.
They, they came in with getting to know you and creating a connection. And if that connection paid off in a way, then they were excited. So the 1969 love was listening to types of music that stimulated that type of thinking.
Got you.
And so I just think they loved different. I think they loved harder. They were open to love, and it wasn't what I could give from you and take from you and rob you of.
Mm,
And, you
okay.
know, and so therefore, it was, let's do this together. Let's engage in this together. Now it's like, I'm here to get mine. You better hurry up and get yours.
If you get it at all.
If you get it at all, if you didn't get it, it's your fault.
Right. It's your fault you didn't get it.
It's your fault that you didn't get it. Not that you clocked in on a job and spent 5 minutes there and went home and you spent 5 minutes on there. See, I feel like I tell my girlfriends, I want a man to treat me like he treats me his career. And my girlfriends are like, if you don't write that poem, I don't know what to tell you. So it's on your podcast for the very first time. But I want a man, because if you think about a man who's in his career, he really cares about that career.
Right.
He stays late. He
Right.
does extra stuff. If he's trying to climb the ladder, he taking out the trash at the office. And he's coffee. He's taking the coffee to his boss. He's doing whatever he needs to do to secure his position.
Right.
And I feel like men today in this atmosphere, not to say all men, they don't secure their position, or they don't even care to have a position because it's the quick, it is the fast food syndrome. And we sat down in the 1969s. And even though I was born a year after, I know that love because I watched it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Listen, hey, it don't get no better than that. That answer was probably as good as it's going to get. You know what I'm saying? Because I know why I wrote it. I know I wrote it because, and it was funny. It was, I was, like I said, 22, 23 years old, and somebody that I have never, ever met in this life. Like, I have never physically met this person, met them online. She was an older lady. I think she was like, at the time, like 42 at the time when I was like 23, but the connection was just like, it was there. And so, and it was the conversations that we had is actually what wrote the poem. So it was things that we clowned about and laughed about and talked about that then created that poem. And it was like the fact that you sending me to the store for whatever because I ate the last of it.
Right.
And me not caring. You know what I mean? And so actually I grew up, my dad used to call me. Now, mind you, think about this now. This is not the cell phone age. This is not the cell phone time. This is the 80s and the 90s. And so I'm not even sure how he was doing that. I'm assuming he was stopping somewhere. Clearly, he was either stopping somewhere or before he left work, he was calling my mom and saying, hey, before I even get to the house, is there anything that you need from me? Do you need me to go stop and pick something up before I even get to the house? So then that way, it's not I got home, I'm tired, and now you sending me back out again. I'm thinking before I ever even get home, hey, what do you, I just worked a full day, but what do you need of me before I get home?
And, I think that is, you're going to hear me say what's sexy and I think that's sexy.
Right.
I think that's sexy because it's like, because no doubt your mama was thinking about what she needed to do to provide for him when he came home.
Right.
So they were in exchange of services.
Right.
And when, they were in exchange of services, in exchange of love. And so exchange of energy. And so I think that's sexy when a man calls you and says, what do you need? Because I know what I bring to the table.
Right.
And I know that I'm coming correct because I'm watching. And as a people person, I don't watch for your mouth to move. I watch to see the rest of how your body reacts to whatever I am giving. You don't need to, and I'm a poet, but I don't need your words. I just need to be observant of who you are and what you enjoy and what you like.
Listen, because everything that I say is fly. Or because first of all, that's the other thing. Generally, the things that come out of our mouth are not always what it really is that moves us. Many times it's the thing that you're not even vocalizing it. You're just like, and noticing it, eyes brighten, but you don't say nothing about it. You just like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's that. It's really truly being observant. Or if a person is telling you, because again, for me, I there's a note section, when you have a contact, there's a note section for a reason. And if I go in my note sections right now under my lady's name, things she has said to me that I really, oh, that's her favorite color. Bop, I'm gonna put that on in there. Because again, I'm human. I may forget it, but if it's in the notes, I can't forget that. I'm gonna make sure. Okay, boom. All right. Her favorite color is that. Her favorite animal is this. Her favorite play is this. Her favorite musical is this.
Who wouldn't want a studious man? Who wouldn't want a studious person?
Right.
And I think that that's where the work, we're talking about the work in being in relationships. It's cute to tell people what you want and
Right.
what your expectations are. It's cute for me to say, listen, I sure like spaghetti. Or he say to me, I sure like spaghetti. And I just act like that fell on deaf ears.
Right.
And I got the capability to whip up a mean spaghetti. I think that we get so caught up in this day in what we want that we don't, as our lovers or as our friends, what they want. And it's an even exchange. And when you say that to me, you took notes. I was like, okay, now I'm taking notes. If my man ain't taking notes, then this might be a problem because we don't. Listen, I'm getting older, so if it ain't in the calendar and it ain't in the notebook, I didn't forgot it.
Exactly. And even though I am pretty good, like I can remember my credit card number, I remember my social, my military ID, it has a different number back. I can remember these things, but again, with the hustle and bustle of life, it doesn't even require age. Just there's so many other things that may be going on, but I don't ever want those things to become bigger than you. And so I don't write notes about, I try not to even think about, I had a bad day at work, but I make sure that I put down notes of what you are. I need to know, okay, what is it that I'm supposed to do? What is it that she likes? What is it? And I'm not always perfect at it. Even with all of that, I'm not perfect at it. But and we had the conversation off screen. It's like, because Valentine's Day is coming up. And I don't get to have time with my woman all the time.
Right.
But the fact that for me, it's like I am researching before I get there. It's like because there's more to being intimate than just sex.
I don't think the people in the back heard you. So just in case they didn't hear you, I'm just gonna need you to repeat that just for a second.
There is more to being intimate than just sex. And ultimately there is more to sex because that was part of the conversation. And I told you I was going to remember and put down some notes and stuff to make sure that we got into it. Because but listen, y'all, the conversation offline was like we was going in, was like, man, we should have been recording this, but when the spirit moves, it's moving. But it's like it's understanding that foreplay is bigger than just oh, it's more than just erogenous zones.
Right.
It's paying attention to the moments and the things that don't draw attention, because there's so many parts of the body that don't really get attention because they're not the erogenous zones. But it's like sometimes they just want to be touched there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just removing things from her mind that is blocking her energy or her ability to release energy. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that's part of what sex is. It is a connecting of energies, and then it is a releasing of that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important to know, again, I was a nurse's assistant when I was a little younger.
Right.
I've seen enough vaginal areas to last me a lifetime. That there's only one way you can put a male part into a female part.
Right.
That's it. There's only one way.
Right.
It's a mechanical thing. When we think about it and equate it to cars, every car has an engine. Every car has a gas pedal.
Right.
But the way you roll in that car and the destination you're going in,
right,
is what makes the experience what the experience is. Because a parked car does not look sexy unless you polish it and do all of those things. But when you get it on the road,
right,
when you put the miles on it and the scenery is there, that's just like the intimacy of sex. Is like when we're talking when we're in our writing class, we talk about the tapestry, or the walls sweating in the room. Like,
right.
you know, is anybody talking about it? Are the walls sweating in the room? Is there a miss? Your pheromones mixed with my pheromones. If we put it in a bottle, it would send people crazy.
Right.
Type of thing.
Right.
But we are so connected into the basic of it all, the mechanic of it all, the
Right.
what can I get out of it all, that we've lost sense of the journey.
So part of that, and I don't like interrupting, but what you just said something. We focus so much on getting what we can get out of it, that if we actually paid any attention and put a little bit more effort into it, we would get so much more out of it than just a nut.
Absolutely. And it's like the best lovers that you could ever have is when they imprint themselves on your cerebellum. Like when you get, I'm at work and I'm having aftershock. Somebody say something. I'm at work and I'm like, oh,
right.
Like, and they're like, are you okay? And you just giggle because you just had a moment.
Right.
You can't get that from effing. You can't.
Right.
You know, as good as it can get in the mechanics of it.
Yes.
When someone saturates on your cerebellum, it's a whole nother ball game.
Right.
And you remember, and those are experiences. When people can recall in their childhood their favorite ice cream, what it tasted like, and what it is, ice cream is ice cream.
Right.
But the experience
of it is what touches it.
It's what's memorable. It's what's etched into your memory. Right. There are people who have dementia,
right,
but can go back to a time. They can't remember what's happening now. They can't remember. They may not even remember you, but then there are moments that they remember.
Right.
So I want to be a man's moment when he has dementia, that he remembers me and what I've done. You know, so that's what we've lost.
Right.
You know, that's what we've lost. I jokingly talk to my friends. There's a church on every corner. There's a liquor store on every corner. There's a gym on every corner. And people have started doing sex as a form of exercise. And I ain't mad at you. But I'm not mad if that's what you do. But sex was never designed to be it. That's exercises in it.
Right.
But it was never designed to be just to get off. It was never designed just to get off.
Right. And it's funny because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the notes and stuff I wrote down earlier, and it's and the comment that you made about when he has dementia, but he still remembers me. It's the line you said earlier, and I was like, I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna make sure I get that in here. Is most people wish upon a star, but we fuck on one. And I'm like, listen, listen. And the reason why, and so the reason why that line even came up was that in the midst of our conversation, because again, what I was studying, and now that I was explaining what I was studying is tantric massage. It's because it's the game before the game. So like you know how when with the Super Bowl, the football game may start at 7, but for 4 hours we're listening to to Troy Aikman and all these other people talk about football and every angle inside all that. It's all that. It's the pregame. It's the pregame before the pregame before the pregame. And it's like there are so many things, and it's like because at the end of the day, that's it. It's 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 wanting to have an experience that isn't just oh man, I came and it was a powerful one. No, it's like I want our spirits to be so interconnected. What did you say? Oh, because you were telling me a story, and it's like you said we teleported.
Yes.
It-
So the room gets thick with the essence of you,
right,
the essence of us. The room gets so thick. And when we are in this moment, nothing what you say, nothing even matters.
right,
You- in
right,
this moment, it's just you and I. I'm connected to your oxygen, you're connected to mine.
right,
And we have left the building, we have left Earth, and we portal to another galaxy
right.
where we're looking down, where we don't even care to look down on what everybody else is doing. And so this the intimate of it, the way it smells, the way it feels when you engage all of your senses, hearing, touch, smell, and taste.
Right.
All of those five senses that we do, and I probably only did four, but it's all good. But trust me, in that moment, I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to go cellular. You know,
Right.
I'm trying to get into the bloodstream. That's the way intimacy is supposed to be fed to each other.
Right.
And so when I said in those moments, in the deepest connection you get, everybody's talking about I'm wishing upon a star, but we fucking on one. Like,
Right.
who can get there? Who
Right.
can bring you
Who
get
can
there?
so in looking at all of the massages, all the different techniques and the different things that they say, one of the biggest things that I got out of all of it was two things. Almost everything that they said and everything that they told you to do and every position and massage and no matter where it started at, all of them end at the spine. Almost all of them, especially when you're doing the back. Obviously, when you're doing the front, you're not really concerned with the spine the same way. But everything on the back, it's like bringing it all back to center. All of it. If I start on the buttocks, if I start on the thighs, I am trying to bring all of the energy and everything I'm doing and touching you back to the spine, to that central place. Because obviously, that's essentially all we are. All the rest of this is just meat and bones, but who we are and how we exist is really just in that middle, in that spine in our brain. The rest of it is again just the surrounding of that. But that's where we exist at. So it's like it starts there. But then the second thing that seemed to come out every single time was that most of it, when it's trying to get you to just relax and be connected, is eye contact. It's not touching them in a certain way. Well, it is, but it isn't. It's like no matter what you're doing physically, do not disconnect your eyes from one another. So as we're moving around, I should be in your soul. I should be looking you into your soul.
Absolutely.
And it's I mean, when you think about that, it's like because I have a 1969 and and again, I don't know why that number popped into my head when I started writing it. It just was where my brain went. But it it just is one of those things where it's like I want to be connected to you in every way, not just well, we're married and we did we have gotten a piece of paper or we've done whatever it was that the world said we needed to do in order for us to be unified. It's I want what God intended it to mean, where I become yours and you become mine, and it's like, and it's just one thing. It's not, it's not. I'm still my individual self, trying to, yeah,
And I think that we have divided ourselves so much that we don't really know what connection really truly means, because people don't get lost in each other. You get found in each other.
mm,
When you are really connected, because I've had my moments where I say I lost myself. Well, that person wasn't for me because I lost myself.
right,
A person who really is connected to you, who is on the same vibrations as you, helps you find yourself.
right,
And so for me, and all of this is the, not book knowledge, but soul knowledge. Amen. Amen.
right, right,
Uh,
right, right,
for me, sex has never been about sex. For me, intimacy is so much more. There are, you're going to post this, right?
yeah. I'm gonna post it.
About to get real transparent. There was a young man that had no clue to how much he turned me on when we met each other online, and we dated for a second. So we did that bi-coastal thing.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did
yeah,
that.
yeah.
He came here, I went there. But when he came here, he said, let's go to a park. Now he don't know that a park is something. I was like, peanut butter jelly picnics, I'm cool with it.
Right.
But we got there, he put out the blanket, and he was like, come here, lay down and lay on my lap. And he played in my hair, and he read to me. Now he don't know that on my list of things
Right, right.
is that I want a man to play in my hair and I want him to read to me. He don't know this. So guess what? That became more sexy than, and we had great intimate moments, but that became one of the highlights of what I remembered. Like,
Right.
to not have to ask you for what I want. I know women do that a lot. But but I know men have it too. When a woman does something that you never asked for, that you have desired, that blow your hair back. If you ain't got no hair, it's
Yeah.
gonna add some extra oil onto your scalp. Your scalp is about to get saturated.
Right.
You thought you were only gonna have a climax, but now now you got these oils in the top of your scalp, because it's like I never had to ask.
Right. You never had to verbalize. You can just hear me.
Connection.
Right.
Connection. And he may not even know to the magnitude of what that did for me. But what it did for me was that you tuned in and you don't even know you tapped in.
Right.
So, you too busy trying to tap that you ain't tapped in.
Mm. Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
you out here tapping on the exterior, that you ain't never dealt with the interior. And if we all know something, it's cute to walk into a home where everything is pretty. You got great paint on the walls. You got these new carpets, but the foundation is broken.
Mm.
The foundation is broken. It looked good, but the foundation is tore up. And so when a plumber go in, they go into the pipes. And it could be double entendre right here.
Right.
But they not, when they go fix something, they're not looking at them. They're gonna tear the floorboards up. So if your foundation in your relationship or in your intimate moments is messed up, it don't matter how good it looked in the 5 minutes that you got off with, you ain't got nothing. You still feel empty.
Right. Right. Listen, and like I said, that in doing research, because again, I've been because again, we had a lot of this conversation, and it's trying to, because really what we're doing right now is trying to rehash the conversations that we had already had. But um, that's why I have been researching pretty much most of my life, because I realize there are so many things about even the physical that we tend to like overlook. We tend to, like you said, I'm trying to tap, but I'm not tapped in. And that's why, because there's a meme out there that they put out all the time where it's like, rather than trying to have 1,000 women, if you put all your energy into having one woman, but it's real. If I focused all of my energy that I would focus to trying to tell you what you wanted to hear and tell her what she want to hear and tell this one and that one. And if I focus all of that energy, all of my physical, all of my mental, all of my spiritual, everything into researching and understanding and finding a way to always make sure that it starts and ends with you.
It's watered down. It's that's just like taking going to a bar and having somebody give you these great shots.
Right.
And I don't drink, but I'm using this metaphor anyway. A true person who knows the taste of vodka knows when it's watered down.
Right.
A true person who has had a certain kind of alcohol knows when it's watered down. A true person who smokes weed knows when you didn't put in whatever you didn't put in. So a true connoisseur of intimacy and work knows when you watering the shit down.
Right.
And so with that being said, is that we don't hold the same standards for our intimacy that we hold for making our money. We don't hold the same intimacy that we do when we go to a job that we can't stand, but we given our all. But you come to the house where you said I do. You said I want to make a home with this woman, or even if you haven't said I do, but you have connected for 3 to 5 years, and you said all of these things, but you bring in and a woman. I'm gonna be honest to that with that too. But you bring in this C-rated, not even a B-rated. You bring in this C-rated. Should I have gone down in the alphabet a little lower?
I mean, maybe
F-rated. You got this fuck you mentality. Basically. Now I don't want that.
Yeah.
And eventually that's going to have a toll on our relationship. I know when you're watering it down. I've had your best. I know when you were engaged and when you weren't. And that's why women and men know when things have changed. When you're not putting in the work. Just like when you go to the gym, you go 3 days a week. We know, my body knows that my body, when I miss a day, my body knows I missed a day.
Right.
So if my body and your body have been connected and I gave you my all and I spiritually connected with you, I know, nigga, when you done missed a day at the gym.
Right.
And the day at the gym is the gym of Miss Parker.
Right. Listen.
And the day at the gym is for you. Men know it too.
Right. Oh yeah, no. Listen, I am very, very quick to be able to be like, hey, whoa, what's going on? What's happening? What are we doing? And you know what? Because you were talking, and again, always listening, because which is even more funny, because I feel like since we're talking about relationships, most people don't realize that if you actually listened to listen as opposed to listen to respond, you might actually find the right thing to say, because now it's like I'm actually absorbing what she's saying to me. So now that I'm hearing what she's saying, other things that we've talked about, I can bring that in and be like, because earlier we were talking about the church, because again, Miss Parker was not is not like, I was raised in the church. I did Bible I did book reports. I did biblical book reports where so I grew up in the church. I grew up reading the Bible. And so I pour out what was poured in. So what's in my fountain is what I pour out. But we were having a conversation that the church does not, because going back, the massage that we were talking about, the Indians, like all that stuff, when it came to like sexual like connection and the spiritual part of it too, Indians very much like focused on that and wrote a whole book. It's called the Kama Sutra. It's a really big book, but think about that. They wrote a whole book focusing on just that. And what I was talking to her about earlier was that the Bible doesn't tell you all of that stuff. It just says what you're supposed to do, but it doesn't give you all of that extra.
Right.
It's like sometimes you have to go outside of what you think you know. But there's a verse, and I have it in my notes, because what she was just saying is in the verse, it says, it's 1 Corinthians 7:5. It says defraud, and this is, I think, the amplified version or whatever, but it's like defraud. No, this is the King James. Defraud ye not the one the other. Now, mind you, this is talking about marriage. Defraud ye one, or not ye not one the other, unless it be with the consent for a time only, that you may give yourselves for fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not through your lack of self-restraint. Now, when you were just talking, you were saying, yo, you go to the gym, if you miss a day, your body notices it. And you are defrauding your body of that feeling of working out. Your body's like, hey, wait a minute. Like if you stay away from cardio too long, cardio will let you know, like, we don't got a good relationship no more because,
Oh, you thought you was going up these stairs without catching, without having your breath? You thought, oh, well, I'm gonna snatch it from you because you ain't been doing this type of work.
Listen. And so not just in a physical, because in this verse, it is talking about the physicalness, the physical bond between a husband and wife, basically saying, do not have sex for a super long time because you will be tempted through your lack of self-restraint. Because a month is cool, a couple months, and we know life gets to moving, but at some point you really need to focus on connecting physically. But it's every other part of the relationship too. You are defrauding me. Yeah. You are not giving me, as one of my love languages besides physical touch is quality time. Yeah. Quality, not quantity. Quality.
Right.
So quality isn't I need 4 hours, a 4-hour block of your time broken out every day. And I know we got kids and I know you got work and I got work too. No, it's saying, give me 15 good minutes. Just 15 out of 24 hours. You give it to that TV show, and that TV show is not going to love you back. Right. Listen, work. Oh, you running and doing everything you can for your boss, and they not going to love you like I love you.
Right.
So
but there, and with you saying that, we have a tendency to take the people we love for granted because we've already experienced the love.
Right.
And so we feel like if this love is supposed to be unconditional, love is unconditional with conditions.
Right.
If this love is supposed to be unconditional, you're supposed to take my bad behavior. And I'm like, why? And why would you want to give your bad behavior to somebody who will have your back?
You won't give it to your job because they will fire you.
Right. They will fire you. You're not going to give it to anyone else because you know that there are repercussions for it. but you do not demand the same repercussions from you don't think the same repercussions will come to you because of your loved one.
Right.
So you bend the boundaries. You bend the boundaries.
Right.
And so when you bend the boundaries and you bend them so much, they will break.
Yes.
They will break. And I'm not a married person, but it doesn't have to be that. I mean, just in regular relationships, that's why the do unto others as you'd have them do unto you is so important. These kind of conversations happen because of that. Like you coming home complaining about what he or she did to you, baby. You know what happened to me at work? Oh, really? Yeah. But yet you're complaining about taking out the trash.
Right.
Or you're complaining about why you got to take out the trash, or why she's has anxiety about you not taking out the trash, or why he has anxiety about you it going into 2 weeks and I ain't had a home cooked meal.
Right.
But you started flaunting the home cooked meals to me. You know that you've gotten my taste buds on automaticity for your food.
Right.
And now you're telling me you can't find the time. Trash takes to take out to a trash can't take you more than 2 minutes. And you can't. So when women start complaining about things like that, they've already digested in their head, they've already processed in their heads, this is a 2-minute situation. You ain't got 2 minutes for me.
But the video game.
But the video game got you for 4 hours. It got you for 4 to 6 hours.
Right.
But I can't get you to take out the trash. Or I can't get you to do a date night with me. And this is you. And I know you need time to check out. Everybody needs time to check out. But at what point but you don't want me to check out. So now you're holding me to a standard that you ain't even have for yourself.
Right. And then which I find weird. So like I go, mind you, I'm not with my lady right now. She is in North Carolina. I'm here in St. Louis. I'm working all the time. Like I just had an interview today trying to get back to the East Coast, trying to get my family in one space. But the funny thing of it is that even here by myself, I don't go nowhere. I mean, the only place I really go to is hit the cigar bar, which is right around the corner. And the only reason I go there is because smoking inside the house leaves a cigar smell, and smoking in the car, the exact same issue. And it's cold outside, because otherwise I would just go out when it was summertime, I went out on my back, patio, and I got my drink and my cigar and I would hang out there. It's like, I don't ever see a day where I don't want to go be with my family. I saw y'all for 8 hours. I don't want to go have a drink with y'all after this. I want to go see my family. My woman needs me as much as I need her. And I'm not too proud to say that I need her.
Right.
Now, mind you, I'm 39 years old. It took me a long time to get to that place with anyone to be able to accept that I need you.
Right.
Just the same way that I know you need me. And so I need to be focused and thinking all the time, how do I feel the need?
And I think that we've gotten away from the word need in here, because we're like, I don't need you, I want you.
Right.
We've gotten into there. And there's room for that too. However, who doesn't want to feel needed? Who doesn't? When men don't have a need, they feel incomplete. When a woman doesn't feel like she's needed, it's still an incompletion. And not to say that I need you and I become needy.
Right, because there's a difference.
But hey, and if I cannot need you, then that's where this thing comes from. What do I need you for? If I can't get you to take out the trash and I gotta go take out the trash, what do I need you for?
Right.
My legs, I carry that out too. But if you're relieving me of something, then what do you, if you're relieving me of something, there's a relief happening. That means that my mind is being open. Like when a man goes, if a woman is got, baby, I gotta go somewhere tonight. And he comes home, he just came from home from work and his clothes are laid. What did you want to do? What did you want to wear? And his clothes are already laid out and he's rushing in to go get dressed. He got to go take a bath. Now he got to pull all his clothes out. That's not her dressing you. That's for her feeling, that's help being respectful of the time that she wants you to make it there on time.
Right.
Or she wants you to make it there on time. So I decided to take this moment to pull all of this stuff out for you. I knew you had to do it. Not that I'm dressing you.
Right.
But I'm assisting you. But here's the piece. If we're talking about a corporate man.
Yeah.
You'll let your assistant at your job do all of those things and have no kind of qualms about it.
Right.
But if your woman chooses to do that, if you are a small-minded man, you're like, why are you trying to dress me? Or why are you trying to do this? Or why are you trying to do that? For women, it's like, did I ask you to pull out that? But you hired somebody to assist you. But now you got somebody who's doing it because they're connected to you and they love you.
Right. And I know, hold on. Not only does, because I am, it has not been a situation that has presented itself, but I am almost certain that my woman right now, if I needed to go somewhere based on that place that I need to go, she could put my clothes out. And I know her, she's probably gonna second guess herself and put out a second thing. But either way, I'm gonna be like, oh man, baby, man, because again, that is a stressor. Because what we were talking about earlier, being intimate is you being able to see into who I am and what I need before I need it. To the point of, if we get to a place where it's like, because again, we want time. Well, I haven't seen you. You don't give me enough time. The more you take off of each other's mind and off of each other's plate and all the stresses that you take off of one another, when you do meet, it makes it so much easier to then release, because you aren't still holding on to all the things that you need to do in your mind. You're, oh, I can put that down. I don't even got to think about that.
Free.
So hey, how you doing, buddy?
And there's some people who will monopolize off that. They won't. They'll do like what they say, you cast pearls before swine. They won't even recognize the little things until they're gone.
Right. And then you'll be like, man.
She used to take the crust off my bread. She know I don't like the crust on my bread.
Right.
He made that just right for me. He used to, when I come home, he used to have the bath water running, you know? I won't even get into that. We ain't gonna talk about that. That'll have to be another talk show about bath waters and all that.
You know what's funny? It's and I realized that life has changed me, because there was a time when I was like that, where and I'm getting back there. Obviously, again, we haven't been in the same place for me to be able to do that consistently. But yeah, I thought about those things. It's like, let me run your bath water. Like I can't remember that was when we were recording or before we were recording, but my dad, no, that was while we were recording. Yeah. But yeah, like my dad calling my mom and saying, hey, what? Because then that takes food off of her mind. I don't even got to get food. You already took that off my mind. So now I ain't got to worry about feeding these kids. That's one less thing. Come on now. And like you said, when it's gone, then it's like I remember my mom said something to me that has stuck with me. She says a lot, and it sticks with me for the rest of my life. It was when my dad died, because they had been together for 19 years. So my dad died in 2000. Obviously, I was 19. Do the math on that one. and we are actually coming up on Scorpio Conceivement Day, aka Valentine's Day. If you do the math, Valentine's Day creates Scorpios. Just saying. Anyway, what she said to me, she said, all of that time and all of that stuff coming to just a check. Because at that point, that's the only thing. It's checks coming in the mail from insurance and all that different stuff. But it's like, yeah, it's all the little stuff that they did. You miss it, and they don't have to physically die. All these things go away because you didn't pay that much attention to them. It's like, whatever. But it's like, no, that's important.
Yeah. And I think I think it was two people that told me, you set each other up. If you really love somebody, you set each other up for greatness and never failure.
Right.
So when you go into a relationship with a prenup, and I'm not against them,
Right.
but when you go into or in this day, everybody's like, well, if it don't work out, we'll just get a divorce. I don't think that 1969 love ever had that intention of what if this don't work. They was like, no, this got to work. This has to work. I don't have an option. They never gave. We have given ourselves so much options that we have opted ourselves out of our options.
Ooh. Yeah, listen, that.
And we don't make choices anymore now. I mean, have you ever gone to a restaurant? Cheesecake Factory, let's just go there. I don't know if everybody got one.
Yeah, but
menu so big, you don't even know what to get. You don't even know what to get. You can't even make a decision. You walked in with a decision, and then you had all of this placed in front of you. Now you don't have no decision. And I think that we've done that to ourselves in this way that we live now.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, because again, like I said, absorbing what you just said about the Cheesecake Factory and our options and all that, going back to Cheesecake Factory, there are certain things. So not only have we opted out because we have so many options, we have lost our principles. Because if I live by certain principles, like, okay, perfect example, Cheesecake Factory got all kind of stuff. Drew does not eat seafood like that. So therefore, that takes a whole portion of the menu and all those options away. So now I have less, and the more I can do whatever, I can go wherever, I can be whatever, the more you tune in to, this is what it is that I am. This is what I'm willing to accept. And I'm not going nowhere. So what's it going to be?
You become laser focused on certain things, and everything has its place. There's places for options. Yes. There's places for laser being focused, and the discernment is where you have to cut it in the middle. That's where you find it is where the discernment is. Right. But there are times to have options, but then there's times they say a jack of all trades, a master of none. So a person who learns, and we as creatives, we have that problem real bad because we can be good at everything.
Right.
But however, once you have gone in and you've done the work, then you can move to something else. But within a relationship, once you've done the work, now it's time to be fun with it. That's where you get to play in it, is that here we are. My sisters and her husband are a prime example with this. They have been focused on working for getting a house. They've had their ups and downs, but they've gotten their foundation solid. So now everything is fun. I know you now. Like, I don't have to do the guessing. In courting, you have the guessing game. Does she like this? Does he like that? What is this? What's that? But when you start getting seasoned, when you start, that's just like, you can make a good meal. And if you're a vegetarian, you may not catch this, but y'all know what I'm talking about, because the chef can do what a chef does. When you add the seasonings to something, it's the resting part. Is when you get the meat and you let it sit for 3 days in that season. Just like spaghetti. Spaghetti tastes good the first day, but let it sit in that refrigerator for a couple of days. Let it sit there. And all of those seasons marinate. You got something different. I know, being in a relationship, I didn't have to question or ask him what he liked, because we had done all the stumbling. We had done all of the investigation work. But now we know. But the knowing doesn't come until you get to the work. If you're constantly having one night stands, you may hit and miss your target. But when you have based yourself into, seasoned yourself into, set it and let it rest and let it marinate it into, now that's that good eating. Because McDonald's will get you fed. It'll stop you from being full. But I ain't never had nobody tell me that they spent 10 minutes eating a McDonald's burger.
Man.
But when you cook and you open it up and you slicing something that somebody gave, baby, this is good. And another note hit you. And another note hit you. And then you like, the first is like, oh, this is good. Oh my God. Oh, you hitting all parts of your taste buds. Come on, like I'm a thick girl. You know, I'm gonna go to food in a minute.
Hey, listen, I'm not the biggest dude in the world, but listen, I can remember places that I have been in this world by the food that I ate there.
Yeah.
So
if you can remember places by the food that you ate, then you can remember places by the times that you've had intimate moments too.
Right.
And you're like, dang, we did that.
Right.
Baby, do you remember in Cabo? Or baby, do you remember the backseat of the car in 1969?
Right. Listen, it's funny that you brought up food. Because I have a friend in DC that is like called me, and basically, long story short, has two men, one known for 2 years, one they've known for like 15. And they're basically, and the way that I explained to her what she is doing, I said, okay, so Chinese food. St. Louis, which I'm not sure why, cooks their Chinese food differently than the rest of the country. They are like world renowned specifically for their Chinese food having a better taste than most Chinese food in the country. And we're not talking, Fogo de Chao type places. We just talking like regular Chinese restaurants, hey, let me get the combo $7.95 combo, like that kind of place, right? But I said, this is the thing, because the two men are doing different things. But I said, watch this. I said, you can get the Chinese food out in California or in DC or wherever, right? Or you can get the one in St. Louis. And again, it's world renowned. But at the end of the day, Chinese food does what Chinese food does. It fills you up for a moment. And within 2 hours, you're like, where did it go? And so we have gotten and conditioned ourselves for fast food.
Yeah.
Fast food relationships.
Fast food, fast ass.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's quick. Everything is let's go, go. But like you said, when it because I don't think at the time my lady had ever had stuffed shells, but she had a play and she needed to go rehearse. And so I was like, listen, you're not, I'm not allowing you to go eat that garbage. I'm gonna make you something and then you can eat and then you can leave. And then that way you won't be starving there, but you also won't, your stomach won't be all jacked up from that garbage that you just ate. And like you said, it was like she was like, and it pauses you when you eat good. It pauses you when you eat good. It pauses you. Like I want to say probably the best kisses that I get is obviously because we miss each other, but we stand in the doorway for like 10 minutes and don't even they not, it's not sexy kisses, it's not, it is literally just, do you know how much I miss you?
Right.
Do you know how much I miss the very existence of you in my space? But that doesn't come. You will never get those type of kisses when y'all just fucking.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's like you're in your, because you're gonna catch feelings and then you're gonna be playing in your head like, well, I really shouldn't catch feelings because we said we wasn't gonna catch feelings at the beginning, and now you're doing all this foolishness where I ain't gotta do none of that.
Right.
Like you said, I could just marinate in it. Just
You can slip into something more comfortable.
wait. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Listen, that right there is it. It's, and that is what, that was what the reason for the podcast, as a reason for the book. It's to give a safe space to talk about whatever in relationships, because everybody doesn't want a good relationship. That's one thing we need to remember. Everybody, and everybody doesn't need to have it, that. But the people that want it should have a space in the midst of all this garbage that you can find everywhere and anywhere. It's like there should be a safe space to be like, yo, I need that. I want something comfortable.
And that's why it's important to at least be on the same page, because
Mm,
that's where the feelings get hurt. That's where people get hurt, because they want to give you what they want, to present to you what they think you want without asking you what you want. And for the whole purpose of conquering and having it. So the misleading is there. Oh, yeah, I want that. No, that's not what you want. But then sometimes they just don't know that's not what they want because they haven't done the work on themselves. So,
exactly. You know, another funny thing.
so, but it sounds good. I want a great relationship. It's easy to say you want a great relationship, but you don't want to work for it.
Listen, I want 6-pack abs.
Come on. Listen, I want my waistline to be just a little bit more, but am
Listen,
I gonna get up and do it is the question. Am I gonna work for it?
hey, am I gonna put it in, or am I just gonna keep complaining and then eating this ice cream, complaining about the waistline that I don't have, while
Yeah,
doing the thing that is keeping me from having the thing that I wanted in the first place?
it is. I'm sorry. I was like, okay, we're gonna make sure that I was like, Miss Parker, next time make sure that your phone is still on silent.
Oh, yeah, you you can. But
Yeah, I
no,
want to make sure.
but I,
No, it is. You got to be able to do it's still. You still got to do the work. And I know I don't have a six pack because I ain't doing six pack work.
right, and
I know. I know that these flight of stairs is still difficult because I ain't been doing my 30-minute workout.
but you know the other funny thing is, it's, if if that's what you want, be able to say that that's what you want.
Right.
But if you're not there yet, if you're, because again, there are tons of people that have not gotten to, they want 6-pack abs, they haven't gotten to that place where it really, you know, I really, really want to put the work in, be okay with the fact, the same thing with the relationships. If that's not really where you are, just say that ain't where you are.
You say that. The trouble. I remember somebody told me this, and I took this and ran with it. Somebody in my younger years. Game, true game is not having any game. And so if I just lay it out on the line with you, it's like, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for any of these things. If you're with it, you're with it. If you're not with it, don't try to pull me into something I'm not with. Give me the game. Let me know the game that you want to play. I'm not going to sit on a checkers game when I want to play chess.
And then trying to move the checker pieces like they're chess pieces.
Say it for the people in the back that may not have heard what you just said.
Listen, if you want to play chess, go find a chessboard and a chess player. Stop being on a checkerboard with checkerboard people and then trying to move the pieces like they are chess pieces. Because at the end of the day, you have no one to blame but yourself. And I know we are not a society, and this is definitely not an age of accountability, but boo boo. Listen, if you can't, rugby and football are not the same. If you're not a rugby player, don't play rugby. Play football. If that's play the game, like you said, which is no game. It's me. Listen, this is what it is. This is what I want. This is how I want it. If you ain't for it, move around.
Or, I think you're beautiful. I think you are beautiful and gorgeous, but I see you move different than I do. And I'm not ready to move in this direction. I see how you move. And I don't know, but what I'm not going to do is hold you up. What I'm not going to do is just try to take what you have. Because trust me, karma is more coming for you. Look, I keep telling people karma don't care if you did it on purpose or you did it not on purpose. So if she gonna get you and you didn't mean to do it, what's she gonna do when you meant to do it?
Listen.
So you just have to, and I think it's a certain realness that you have to have with yourself. Because some people will, and it's work. Sometimes we got to pull back and be by ourselves for a moment to say, I don't really know what I want.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I know that this looks good to me. This is appetizing to me. But if I'm not willing to, that simple thing, my car is in the garage. I have to ask myself, do you really want to work to take that car, lift that heavy thing up as your single self to get out here and go to the store? Or can it wait?
Right.
So that's an action. If I'm not willing to put it in there, then I'm going to stay at home and stay in here until I'm ready to go out. So it's the same thing. It's like, yes, ice cream would be good, but am I willing to pull up this thing, pull up pull up my, because I have to lift mine. I ain't got that cute little push a button.
You got to lift the
garage up. Am I going to lift up my garage, pull out my car, and know I got to lift this garage back up and pull my car back? It ain't worth it.
Right.
It ain't worth it. I'm going to sit here at this house and figure out what I got here that I want. But let me get engaged. Let me them street tacos on Tuesday. What? That gate going up, I'm pulling out. I don't feel kind of thought about it. I'm pulling myself back into the thing. So what's the work level? What's your work ethic for what you want? What's your work ethic for what you want?
Right. Yeah. Because ultimately at the end of the day, all those people, all those relationships that you see that you're like, man, they've been together for 25, they've been together for 30 years. They seem so happy. Boo boo. I can guarantee you that entire 30 years was not happy.
It's not blissed.
You get to now, mind you, obviously, there are outliers in everything. So, well, I know. Listen, don't be that person. Don't. Well, I know this person, and they never had no trouble. They said they never. Shut up, because that's the majority of people. That is not the case. The case is you are working through something because
Yeah.
we all got trauma. Most of us do. So you're working through something. I'm working through something. I'm trying to be the greatest version of myself, and you're trying to be the greatest version of yourself. And I am here doing whatever it takes. Cause like the other day when I told you that I was helping make up LLC names.
Mhm.
That was my woman. I'm helping my woman come up with these names for these LLCs. And it's me listening to what she's saying to me. How do you feel about this thing that you want to do?
Right.
And then taking from what she said and how she feels about it, and then creating the names based on that, based
Right.
on, and so it's like, come on, it's like, yeah, it is. I am doing everything in my power to make sure that when you leave here, you poured it all out and
Right.
you were as great as you could possibly be.
Right. And I think that whether it be male and female relationships, whether it be intimate relationships with a undertone of romance, or it's your good friend, or any of those things, I've watched people put more work into their friendships than they have into their romantic relationships. And so if you want to see the person succeed, like, I've gotten out of a relationship, and once you get past whatever hurt y'all got going on, you look at the person. That's why I believe that friendship is so important in a relationship, because sometimes I'm not going to like you romantically. Sometimes I'm not going to like you because you're my boyfriend. I'm not going to like you if because you're my girlfriend. I'm liking you from the basis of the work of the friendship that we've had undercurrent. That's the foundation. And so I want I don't think it's too much to ask for him to be my best friend. I don't think it's too much, because there are days that we're not going to like each other.
Listen,
You are
I
my
tell
last.
I tell my lady that all the time. Like, listen, you get on my nerves sometimes, and I know. Uh, somebody used to. There's a nickname somebody used to have, and they would, hey, jerk Drew, like because it would be like these moments where it's just like I'm just in my shit for whatever reason, and I don't know how to get out of it, and so I'm just being cantankerous for no real reason. But it's like that's who we are as human beings. We aren't always happy and always this and always that. It's like, but I know that I love you through all that.
Yeah. And there's something, and we not, because it's 5 o'clock. We not gonna go on another one, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
Um, there are some people out there, and I can only go from a man and woman perspective, because I have. There are guys who have said stuff to me like, "Shut up, you know you like it. Did I just tell you that I didn't like it?" So I've even said to them, "Listen, I don't like that. I tolerate that because I like you."
Right.
And so it becomes a problem when your go to conversation continues to say, "Shut up, you like it."
Right.
Then you really don't know who I am, and you don't really want to do the work to see how this is impacting me. If I constantly tell you that I don't like it and you continue to do it, there's a problem with that. That
Right.
means that you're not going to tweak or adjust what's going on.
Right.
That means you don't want to go deep. You don't want to work. You don't want to work at it.
Because watch this. I'm filling up my bathtub, right? That water is a little hotter than I am comfortable with. Yo, all you got to do, and that's the funny thing. It's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. It's like, just turn the knob, the cold on a little bit. Come on now, hey. And again, it's not that you will never do it again. Because again, a lot of people's most annoying parts of who they are, they're going to do that again. They're going to, you had a bad day, somebody cut you off in traffic, whole bunch of other stuff. And then you get home and you're going to be in your feelings and you're going to be in a funk. And I'm the closest person to you. And you can't take it out on the person that cut you off in traffic. So I'm going to catch your attitude.
Right.
But it's realizing that, okay, all right, I don't really appreciate what you're doing right there. And I really wish you would actually just, and that's the thing. It's like, I wish you would just tell me what is actually bothering you. And it's funny because having the long distance has definitely helped me and my lady with that, is the fact that there are moments I realize that I am taking out my stress, out the fact that I'm not able to be where she is, the fact that I'm not able to see my daughter every single day, the fact that she's dealing with her every day, and it's exhausting her, and like all of that stuff. And sometimes that comes out in my conversation, but it's me being able to stop and realize and say, whoa, wait a minute. You know what? Hey, this is actually what is wrong.
Right.
This is, so then it no, it doesn't necessarily stop the behavior, but you catch it faster, because now you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are you taking it out on her? Or why are you taking it out on him?
It's recognized. Once you become recognized, and sometimes people don't want you to change overnight. They
No.
want to they want you to recognize what impact it has on them and say, I'm going to work on it.
Right.
And really work on it. Not say I'm going to work on it, but work on it. And to identify, I realize that this does this to you.
Right.
And I am doing my best because this is a learned behavior. This is how I've learned to cope with things. This is how I get down with things. And so therefore, I need you to have a little understanding of that. This is how I've always done things.
Right.
So relationships are very sticky.
And a lot of work.
And relationships are, but the ones that once you start to work through those things, they're worth having. They're worth having.
Oh yeah.
More than that.
I mean, so because we had that conversation and we were talking about, like, in the Bible, the whole being equally yoked thing. And so you have that, because again, that's talking about, an intimate relationship. And then if you, and I'm going to connect these. And then if you go all the way back to the beginning, when God saw Adam and he was by himself and he said it's not good that he should be alone, those kind of go hand in hand in the fact that if you had one ox that was doing all of the pulling, it's like, ooh, that's not good that he should be by himself. He gonna kill himself being by himself pulling. Having another ox, having that woman or whatever your proclivities are, because again, whatever you pull up,
whatever it is,
whatever your proclivity is, but having that individual next to you helping you pull just makes life easier.
Yeah.
We were never meant to be alone. That saying, no man is an island, it is the truth. We should not. Society has taught us that, all of these different things, but we are not. So, and I don't like people, and I can't stand people. Find you somebody that you like. Find you a space that matches what you are. But it's like, being alone is a terrible thing. It's a terrible place to even be, because we were created to be together, to interact, to be in groups, not to be home by myself. Baby, I guarantee you, when you start getting 50, 60, 70 years old, and you done had all these touch and goes, all these just fly in, touch the ground, and fly back off. When you get 60 and 70, and them people ain't gonna be the ones that's gonna help you use the bathroom when you get old, and it's hard for you to get up out of the bed to get to the bathroom. They not gonna be there for you.
No.
Listen,
It's the work that you put in.
Right.
It's just like when you create a portfolio. It is a long-term thing that you are putting in. You're putting in your nest eggs.
Right.
That's the same with a relationship. Someone who's in love with you, who is connected to you, is going to wipe your behind.
Right.
Not someone that you married for money, not somebody that you married for an opportunity, because they're not invested. They might be invested financially, but that's why you see so many people who are in convalescent homes, because the connections were either there or broken. The connection wasn't there or it was broken.
Right.
Or, and then of course you have the ones that they lost their loved ones and they're there. But
Right.
when they be like, I can't wait till this fool die, or I can't wait till she gone, they are not, they're emotionally bankrupt.
Too. Listen.
They financially might be rich, but they're emotionally bankrupt.
Right.
So,
Too.
it's a hard situation, and it's a definitely a hard dance, but it pays off in the end when you hear people that say they've been together for 19 years, they've been together for 25. Trust me, it was not all, and they decided to keep their business to themselves, but it was not all roses. And if it was all roses, baby, some of them roses they forgot to pull the thorns off.
Ah, right. Right. Listen. Yeah. I think we have, yeah, we
Which is
have.
a lot.
Uh-huh.
But it's always a pleasure to have a conversation like this and open up the dialogue. Not everybody's going to agree with what has been said today, but it
No.
opens up the dialogue for other people to think about some things,
Exactly.
to apply what they heard that gelled with their spirit. And I always tell people, discard what you don't connect to, or file it somewhere. Like you put it in a computer, file it somewhere, and they be like, oh, that Miss Parker said this and that. At the time I didn't find any value in it, but now I'm finding now. Or it was just completely forget about it.
Yes.
And so I think conversations and dialogues like this are necessary. Nobody is claiming to be a professional. No one is complaining that they said that they studied. We've studied.
Yes.
Nobody says that they have a degree, but let's open up the dialogue, because there's more people that are going to feel like us and there's going to be people that don't. But when you're trying to do the work, you need to pull in all the resources that you can.
All of them.
All of them. Air one of them. Air.
Everyone. Because again, I I can I can be as transparent as anybody when it comes to my past relationships and all of that stuff. But there are still people that based on my senses and just other conversations that we've had, they come to me for relationship stuff, because you realize that no matter what, I listen to what you actually are saying to me, and I give you the best thing I have for you based on
Right.
life
Right.
experience. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you about to
So
you about to hit it. You about to get out there and shake a tail feather.
no, I might get on a couple of lives and do a little bit of poetry. It just doesn't, wherever my vibe is. Next time I might be able to spit a little something.
Listen, if you want to, it's here.
It's here.
I'm saying you could. What they say at church? Hey, take us out with a hymn.
Oh, not a him. I'm just trying to listen. I got people in my house and I'm trying to get them to be as quiet as they possibly can. So I heard a door close. They were like, okay, let's get here. Okay. Um, do you have a request?
Um. hmm, The one that you let me hear earlier with the music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That is called Perfectly Plated.
perfectly played it, y'all. Go on, do your thing. I gotta silence my phone.
You infiltrate my dreams, and I smell you there. You assault my sheets. Your voice echoes softly through my womanly grotto, causing me to clench both thighs together as to not reveal my secret. I probably I probably should apologize for all the mischievous things that I have done to you in my mind without your permission. Maybe I should have asked for your permission. Better yet, your submission. I mean, we switch positions like dyslexic switch numbers. Intertwined, tangled, flesh wrapped 96, unraveling 86. Selfishly, graciously, you do me. I owe you one. And I promise to give you more than one. A multitude, one after the other, back to back. That's after I arch my back, you take me from the back. Tangerine pills left on the counter got your skin saturated in vitamin C, stimulating the umami, tantalizing my gullet, my mouth devouring every part of you. You be that appetizer I want to savor. You be that irresistible flavor. Well, baby, you were beautiful on my tongue. You be multivitamin. I be injected with a healthy serving of you. You be that heavy dose of good for me. Fully balanced. We be perfectly plated.
Yes. Yeah, listen. Hey, y'all, Miss Parker. Tell them where they can find you at, ma'am.
So you can find me on Instagram right now. Who knows in the future where you'll find me, but on Instagram at Miss Parker, that's MS period Parker underscore speaks. And you can be looking out within the next month for my book. It's going to be called Traces of Red. And it is Traces of Red rated intimate.
Listen, y'all, y'all need to, when she put that thing out, y'all need to go follow her first and foremost. And then when she put that thing out, because she explained to me some of the details of that book, and I'm like, fire. Like just and it's amazing to see somebody else with the level of detail in putting something together for the, not just for the consumption of it, for the very presentation of it, like the love of the presentation of it. Because whether a million people read it or only one person reads it, it's like I still need this thing to represent me when I'm gone.
Right. And that's what books and all of that is that it is you creating your own history. We don't have to, your story, we don't have to delve into someone else's. And I'm a firm believer where I say, I'm the artist, I'm the author, the editor of my own story. I don't want to be put into somebody else's because they're going to write me the way they want to write me.
Right. And you may not write me correctly.
And you may not write me the way I see myself. That is your interpretation of who I am. So I'm here to tell you who I am in the skin that I live in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, folks, with that being said, y'all know where y'all can find me. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Black Velvet HD, no spaces, high definition. Other than that, hopefully I should have my website back up again. I am Black Velvet by the end of February. Been working on some designs and different stuff and trying to get some other stuff moving, but just wanting to make sure that I do it fully before I try to present it to the world. Like my sewing is making sure that I'm getting it together before I present it to the world. I gotta make sure that I got it right, and then I can present it out to the world. But yeah, so it has been a pleasure, Ms. Parker. Thank you so much for being on. I definitely would love to have you on again for another conversation because again, we tend to flow pretty smoothly and easily into all different directions. And so, yeah, I definitely appreciate it.
Well, it's a pleasure to be on here for you having me. And yes, we do. We flow into it effortlessly. And I am so honored to have been here. And whenever you want me, you already know you could just call me and say, "Hey, it's time for us to talk about it. Let's talk about it, Miss Parker." And
Gotcha.
Miss Parker will speak.
All right, all right, all right. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we will see you later.